Hi there, I'm Aidon, and I'm playing Gabriel Monroe, he, him.
Hi, I'm Aubrey, and I play Alannah Roth, the Thin Blood, and we both use she, her pronouns.
Hello, I'm Solomon, and I play Alexander Gladstone, the Thin Blood, and we both use he, him pronouns.
Hi there, I'm Termite. I play Ivy Reed, the Thin Blood, and we both use she, her pronouns.
Hello, I'm Bloodied Porcelain, and I play the Lady. We both use she, her pronouns.
And I am Legacy. I will be your storyteller for the evening. She, they. Where we last left off. The four of you had made your way back to Ari's tattoo shop. Partially because there were meetings that were taking place. Partially because a couple of you had some packages. After making discoveries of what those packages contained, you rushed to get rid of any of the evidence to spare a coterie member's feelings. Some of you took off to take care of private business, such as feeding. Some of you got phone calls of discoveries and questions about the local party scene of London. Some of you had heart-to-hearts. And some of you discovered things that you might not have meant to discover. Eventually, the coterie meets back up, and as they're getting ready to settle in for the night and try to find a place to hunker down, they receive a specific one of you receives a phone call from somebody that is very, very near and dear to you, in her begging for you to come home. The four of you, in different periods of time, find yourselves in the home of Alexander's grandmother, where she goes over fond memories and maybe criticizes some of you and compliments some others. And one of you finds their way into a bathroom where, after taking participation in some dark rituals, see a vision of death. Eventually, you all make your way back to your various havens and such to get a good night's sleep. We are going to skip forward in time a little bit, a couple of weeks. Things in London have gone awry. People fighting in the streets, innocents getting slaughtered by the numbers, by the dozens. Kindred going under, kindred going in hiding. London has turned into a freak show state. And there is no rhyme or reason as to why this all might be happening. You all have mutually decided to remain a bit separate. And if you are going out, that is when you would get together. We are going to start with Alannah. I want you to go ahead and give me a rouse check as you wake up in a very familiar spot that you've had to call home over the last couple days, maybe week.
Yeah, and we are starting at Hunger 1, correct?
Yep, so this is going to be your waking rouse.
Cool. I do have low appetite, so when at Hunger 1, I roll twice, 0 or 1, roll twice and keep the lower.
Okay. Go ahead and roll again. All right. Unfortunately, your low appetite doesn't.
I am starting out at hunger too.
As you awaken, your eyes slowly allowing them to adjust to the light, and the light that hits is bright. It's one of those new LED lights, and it just doesn't feel completely right. And you have to readjust yourself to your surroundings. As you're allowing yourself a moment to wake, that thing that's inside of you begins to get just ever so slightly squirmish and squeamish, and all you hear in the back of your mind is, Alannah, darling, we're starving. This is why I stopped looking. Because you just let yourself get too hungry.
Ouch.
That voice in the back of your head, instant reminder.
Mm-hmm.
That's Matt.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I think you need to go and get a bite to eat. Come on. For old time's sake. It could be like a party again.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows if you get that bite to eat, maybe I'll come back and I can play you my newest song.
Yep, I think I'm metaphorically waking up on the wrong side of the coffin this morning.
Mm-hmm. And as you kind of lie there, you feel a light tap on your shoulder. A man with long brown hair, covered with tattoos, with a very striking smile, looms over you. Morning, sunshine. Come on. We don't want to waste the entire night away. Now, do we?
Sure, yeah. Slowly pick myself up from this bed and reach around for something to wear.
Here. You forgot to pack clothes again. And Logan tosses you a clean enough flannel. It's got a couple of small holes and tears in it, but it smells of him. And you find yourself just kind of looking at it and smiling. Logan's been such an awesome guy to you over the last couple of months. You two have gotten really, real close.
Yeah, pull the flannel on over like the tank top I'm wearing, and kind of just like give him a bit of a rueful smile and just saying, yeah, burning moonlight, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Tomato. You ready to try it again?
Yeah. I think I've got it. I think I have it this time. I think I understand where I messed up last time.
Hey, yeah. Make sure that you're eating beforehand. By the way, I don't need another incident.
Yeah. I still don't want to do this on an empty stomach.
No. Do you need to? And he kind of points to his neck.
Just a little. Just a top up.
Yeah. Come on. I don't mind. It's It's kind of fun when you do it.
Yeah. We'll take a second and climb over, get comfortable, and then bite in and take a drink.
Okay. He stiffens up just ever so slightly. I want you to describe what you taste.
Logan tastes like a mix between clove cigarettes and whiskey, and maybe a little bit of coffee.
Eventually, after you getting a little bit of a taste, he gently pushes you away.
Yeah.
All right. Enough. Just clean up, please. I can't do it myself.
Yeah. I lick the wounds closed, and I have to roll my
Yes, you do.
which is medicine plus dexterity, I believe.
Correct.
Yep. And all I have to do is get one success because it's the amount of blood I took.
Yep.
That is 3 successes to close the wound.
Wonderful. Awesome. You also have to make another roll.
It's true. That
because
is
of that merit that you have.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it's a willpower test versus Logan's blood potency.
So you have to beat 2.
I get 2.
All right, wonderful. A meat is a beat, and never mind. You meet it, so yeah, you're good. You pass.
Yep.
Yep. So, your blood bond to him doesn't increase, but God, he tastes so good, and that taste lingers on your tongue for just a little bit, and he cracks his jaw a little bit, and you can, despite being dead, you can hear a little bit of that like jaw like popping, and he readjusts himself and crawls out of bed. Never gets old, does it?
Oh, it's a bit of a head rush.
Mhm.
Yep. Ritual. That's what I'm doing.
Yes. Now, remember, I can only find you so many of these spiders, love. So, I'm hoping that we get it, or else I'm going to have a very, very pissed off, daddy long leg collection.
Yeah. I think I understand where I messed up last time. Yes. So this should be the time. I say as I'm also kind of psyching myself up.
You got this, I promise. Here. And he reaches over you, and takes the jar off of his side of the bed, and brings it close to you. And there are 5 daddy long legs in there, crawling up the sides of the jar, hanging out, just having a grand old time. They don't know what's coming to them.
Yep. I probably have some. These are not official. I've made do with what I can, very basic mortar and pestle, and on the counter I guess, time to make another rouse check as I spill my own blood.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, this is the same as last time. Yeah, I'm going back up to hunger too.
Yeah. And again, you hear in the back of your head, Come on, Alannah. You just fed and you're already getting hungry. Why not push it? Let's get real hungry. Let's get wild. Logan wouldn't mind if you took just a little bit more from him. I mean, look at him. And then you can come back to me. And we'll be back to normal.
If only it worked like that. I, push the thoughts of this beast back as I take one of the spiders and start the ritual, mixing it with the ground, mixing it with the blood. And I believe it's a intelligence plus discipline roll.
Yep. And the difficulty for this is your blood sorcery level +1.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that is a difficulty of 2 for you.
Yep. Oh, come on.
Would you like to spend a willpower?
Yes, I'm going to spend a willpower.
Okay, reroll those 3 dice.
That is 3 successes.
Wonderful. Awesome. So, you take in this mortal and pestled, blood-soaked, broken down daddy long-leg, and you allow your mind to focus. And it takes a little bit of time, but eventually you force out this adhesiveness on the tips of your fingers, and as you're kind of touching your fingers together, they stick. And Logan looks at you with like he's proud. All right, try.
Yeah. To immediately just go over to the nearest wall and reach out. And I was told I have to make sure that both my hands and my feet are contacting it. So I do that with and sort of start climbing up.
And you do. And Logan's house is pretty big. You're able to, with this adhesive on your fingers, begin to slowly make your way up, and you feel like a spider. Every movement that you take to get up this wall is dainty and very light. You don't want to put too much weight on the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes, or that'll mess it up. And you've learned this from trial and error. And it seems like all of those lessons and all of that practice is finally coming into fruition. You climb up the wall, up to the ceiling, back down the wall, and you find yourself right behind Logan, still clinging like an insect. A fly on the wall, a spider on the wall.
Okay, yeah. I did it.
You did it. Oh fuck, you did it.
Oh, just
Holy
like,
shit.
just like, yeah. I there's a moment where it's just like, maybe thinking initially like, oh, high five, but go in for like, a hug.
And he hugs you.
Yeah.
And he smells like expensive, cheap cologne, if you know that smell. Like, it's on purpose smells cheap, but you know that he spent good money to get it to smell like that. But it smells nice. And the moment is tender. Soft.
Yeah. I think I've definitely come to enjoy the smell of it over these last several months.
He eventually does pull away, though, and kind of brushes your cheek with his thumb. Yeah, you've got a little bit of a and he wipes a bit of that residue, that blood residue off the side of your mouth, and he licks it.
Tastes good.
Quite delightful, actually. I don't know if you plan on heading out at any point, but if you could give this to your boss, I owe her. And then he actually turns back around and pulls up his hair, and you see a masterful work piece of giant rose, surrounded by what seems to be dark lace on the tips and on the leaf. It looks intricate. It looks like it took forever. And you can also see that it is stitched together to be there.
Yeah.
You've come to know over the months of working under Samitsi that they have ways of making that type of art stick on a person, on a kindred especially. But you also know that beauty is pain, especially with the dragon. It's still bright red around, as though it is mimicking a healing process of its own. But he turns back around and gives you another just like brush on the cheek. You know that you're cool to stay here as long as you need. I unfortunately have a job that I need to take care of. So, just...
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably go by and see how things are. I don't think I have a client tonight, so...
Well, if you're looking for one, let me know.
Oh, I still need to learn how to make stick, but I'm working on it. Got some ideas.
I've got a couple buddies who might actually enjoy your art that don't stalk the streets at night.
Yeah, I mean, I will gladly take their money and put art on them.
Good girl. Anyway, I need to get going. Stay as long as you need. Hopefully, I'll see you again tonight.
Yeah, I'll probably drop back by.
Good. And he turns around, and the sound of his boot echoes the room as he departures, leaving you in this space with your adhesive fingers, feeling confident, maybe a bit proud of yourself.
You did it.
You finally did it. And we're going to move on to Ivy. Make me a rouse check.
Oh wow! I finally gained hunger. What do you know?
Where does Ivy stay over the next couple of weeks?
Ivy has her own little place. Not exactly sure where, but kind of tucked away, essentially like a basement apartment type thing that she has all to herself.
Okay.
Although it's a lot bigger than she needs just for herself.
You wake up. And again, that hanging light kind of messes with your eyes a bit. It's dim because you're in a basement, but it flickers and the flickering of that sudden somewhat bright, somewhat dark, somewhat bright, somewhat dark begins to rile your beast up. I'm getting real sick of it. I'm getting real sick of it. Sister, I'm hungry. Please, can we finally eat? I'm getting real sick and tired of you keeping me in the dark like this. You're always keeping me in the dark. Where can we find some food?
Ivy's hand kind of flies to her bedside drawer. And she pulls out a knife and just throws it across the room as she yells, "Shut the fuck up!"
Well, someone's acting like a bit of a bitch, aren't they? And it slinks back in, but you feel that presence and that voice in the back of your head, your sister. It's almost sickening. That something that is so monstrous and chaotic is mimicking almost to torment you. The one person that you love more than life itself. You get a text message from Pixie. Another Thin Blood. Somebody that you have grown a repertoire with over the last several months. The two of you often going out and seeking dead elder kindred to see what lies within the dust. It says, "Just letting you know, I might need to stay hidden just a little bit longer. Some of the bigwigs in one of the political factions seems to think that my club is fully responsible for the drug thing going on. I suggest you find another place to hang around. If you don't hear from me, their walls are plastered in ivory."
It's easier to just blame somebody else than actually figure out what's going on. Stay safe.
I'll try. If anything changes, I'll let you know.
Good.
And you are left on red. And you're left to sit there with these muddled emotions, this feeling of hunger. And you haven't felt hungry in a little bit. You thought that you might have actually finally gotten a hold of it, but all good things must come to an end. And now it's beginning to hum. Softly, but it's still humming.
I'm going to eat anyway. I had to go out tonight. Needed something different than what I've had. Why do you do this to me?
Because I'm hungry. I don't know what you want. Eat! Please! That voice is all too familiar with you.
That's not 5 minutes. will go and rip the knife out of the wall and throw it back into the bedside drawer. And she's gonna go and find some bandages in her house before she goes out to get food.
Okay. Yeah, you're easily able to find a couple of bandages. What do you plan on doing with them?
Well, the person she feeds from is gonna need them.
Got it.
Ivy doesn't have fangs.
All right. Now, because you are a thin blood, you lack a predator type. So how does Ivy plan on getting subsistence? How does she plan on getting the blood that she needs without a predator type, without teeth?
She basically stages it as a mugging. Like, she basically sits in an alley, waits for somebody to make the dumbass mistake of coming down it, and,
Then I will have you roll me a... We'll do composure and stealth.
Okay.
This to hide and stay hidden while you wait for someone.
And then can I also do a resolve awareness to specifically wait for somebody that has melancholic blood, because I do have bloodhound.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm going to do the composure stealth first. 2.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your bloodhound roll.
3. Of course, I do better on that one.
Mm-hmm. You think that you're hidden. You're dressed to fight. Fight. I put in quotation marks. And every now and again, there'll be someone that passes by with something special. Sanguine, phlegmatic. But you are waiting on that sweet, sweet, special, let's call it, ingredient. It takes a little bit of time. You sulk and wait and wait and wait. And just as you think that all hope is lost and start to maybe even get a little bit angry about it, they walk by. A slender, kind of short person with a short bob, and you can smell it instantly. It reeks of that depressive state. Maybe they went through a bad breakup. It's a little... You don't know, you don't particularly care. They just smell good. Just what you need. Now, because you are staging this as a mugging, I am going to have you roll, we'll go, dexterity and melee, and you're going to be at a -1 penalty for this scene. Or for this roll, not the scene.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
she does see you. She does see you coming after her.
Hold on. So that's 3 successes.
Okay. She sees you coming, but you have what she doesn't have, and that's celerity, so you're faster. You manage to run up to whoever this person is, and just as they're about to whip out some pepper spray to spray you down, you manage to get the jump on them. With your knife, you make a small incision into the arm, and they begin to scream uncontrollably. What are you going to do to either feed or get them to quiet down?
At this point, she is going to feed, throw the bandages on the ground, and run.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you roll to outrun her. She just got stabbed. But I will make a note.
Yeah.
You make your way down the street. Feeling... How are you feeling?
Not great. Between the blood and knowing that she messed that up, she could have done it way better. At this point, she kind of just wants to disappear, kind of fade away. People stop noticing her. And with that blood resonance, I would like a dot of obfuscate.
Of course. For those at home who do not know, Thin Bloods have a very fun ability where, depending on the blood that they consume, they gain a dot in a specific discipline.
Should I
Depending on the blood
roll
type.
for the intensity?
Yeah. You get access to the
Cute.
Nope, negligible.
It's what the fuck?
Yeah, so the way
that's really weird. What the fuck is going on?
the way that the bot rolls,
Okay,
it rolls
that's
the
really
initial.
stupid.
Yeah. It rolls the initial intensity on the bottom.
I
and
see
then
it now.
And then if you somehow
If
get
it's
like
the
intense cute.
10.
Yeah. That's a but it's there somewhat. It was enough, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But you leave that scene feeling just slightly worse off. Not knowing if this woman is going to need any sort of medical attention or stitches, which medical attention. And we are going to move on to Gabriel.
Hello.
Hello. You as well. I need a I will need a rouse check from you.
Success.
Gabriel, you wake up feeling like sunshine and daisies, which may be a good or a bad thing for you. It must have been that coming down from the high of the bathroom necromancy.
Exactly. I wake up and I immediately just high five Cadaver for no reason.
I could ever high fives you back. Because that's your little buddy.
Yeah.
You receive an email from Mario stating that they are not going to need your services tonight and to enjoy a night off. if they do end up needing you, that they will be in contact. But they've got some higher up in the family business that needs to be taken care of, and there weren't any bodies presented to them over the day or even at this portion of the night. So Gabriel has a night off. What would Gabriel like to do?
Well, seeing that he's got a night off, he'll kind of just scratch the head of a cadaver, and then he'll go over to his laptop, looking very excited, got a bit of a smile on his face, a little bit giddy even. He'll kind of sit down in his chair at his laptop, open it up, and think for a little bit, think about what you want to do for the rest of the night. He'll kind of rock back and forward a little bit, and then after about 5 minutes, he'll go online and he'll buy some cinema tickets to see Wonka. And yeah, he's going to go to the cinema, watch a movie. I think that's what he'll do.
How nice. A nice night off, a good movie. Are you bringing the monkey with you? Just out of curiosity.
Yes.
Okay,
so we
sounds
have a plan in place.
Uh-huh.
I usually leave him outside, go get a big bucket of popcorn, and then empty half of it. He jumps in the popcorn, and I kind of cover him, and we go watch the movie together. I also buy a big drink, and I don't touch them, but Cadaver likes to drink from them and eat the popcorn. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do for the next, couple of hours. And if anyone needs me, they've always got my number. But yeah, he's just going to go have a good time.
Okay, yeah. Gabriel, you don't get many moments like this. Moments where you can just kind of feel like a normal, everyday person. The last few months or so have been really rough. Even for you. And getting a chance to finally just have some of that alone time. Away from people, away from work, despite your crave for knowledge, you remember that there used to be a time pre your embrace that you used to just be able to do this whenever you wanted, and maybe you even took it for granted. But yeah, I am going to I'm just gonna have you make me one check, one singular check, just to see if the monkey makes it in.
Sure.
We'll go. Let me take a look at your sheet. Make this as fair for you as possible. Gabriel's had her rough the last couple of weeks. Let's go composure, composure, and
Subterfuge?
yeah, let's go composure and subterfuge. To see if you can play off that cool factor of I don't have a monkey on me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bestial fail.
That is a bestial fail.
And just as always, I will take it.
Okay. You buy the popcorn. And you think that you've got this under control. And then you get to go and grab Cadaver, and Cadaver's excited for this movie. But then it hits you. What if they know? Oh my god, what if they know? what if they're able to tell? And that playing of what if they're able to tell shows on your face and in your hands as you're beginning to shake the bucket of popcorn that has your monkey in it, and Cadaver's starting to get a little bit angry at you too. He looks up and just kind of like leaps and like grabs your face and just kind of like tries to like hold your focus again. And people are staring at you. And one of the cinema workers approaches you and just lightly taps you on the shoulder. Sir, you can't bring your monkey into the movies unless he's got the paperwork. Did you ever get a Cadaver registered as an emotional support animal, or
No.
No. So he's
No.
just a monkey.
Yeah. Gabriel will look back at this guy and kind of look a little shaken up and just take a few steps back, kind of looking at the lights of the cinema, looking at all the happy people in line about to go see a whimsical musical, and Gabriel just kind of gets sad.
Roll me a compulsion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. And that nervousness, that sadness quickly turns into paranoia. That guy, he works for Pentex. He's going to take your monkey and he's going to do really, really bad things just to fuck with you. He's going to take your monkey and you're going to lose Cadaver. We need to get out of here. We need to go now, right now. We need to get the fuck out of here. And you usually don't feel this unless you're feeling hungry, but there is something screaming and rattling in your cage again, and it wants you to get the fuck out of that movie theater.
Is the guy like in front of me still? Kind of just.
Yeah. And he leans into you because he's seeing the panic on your face, and he's like, "You good? Are you okay? Like, dude, it's fine. Just bring the monkey home. You can come back and see the movie. We just can't have animals, and because it'll be distraction. It's not fair to the other kids. Are you good?"
I think knowing Gabriel, paranoia. I'm gonna roll another rouse check, and if it's a failure, Gabriel's gonna do something stupid.
I love to hear it.
He does not take out one of his scalpels and stab the guy in the shoulder. Instead, he will just begin to run away. And he'll just kind of grab Cadaver, put him underneath his coat, look extremely heartbroken that he was really looking forward to just watching this whimsical movie, and he will just begin to run through the streets of London, kind of bumping into people, and every time he does, he'll kind of look up at their faces and he'll see them staring at him with like angry eyes, even though they're probably not. And he'll just run all the way back home, and once he's there, he'll bolt up the door and kind of hide in a corner with Cadaver.
And though you haven't registered Cadaver as an emotional support pet, he's honest to God really good at just being like protective of you. You have started to form a bond that doesn't need blood. It is one of genuine love. Cadaver just kind of perches on your shoulder and leans into you, and kind of just like rubs his face on your cheek, and then begins to just kind of like pick through your hair very slowly to check and try to keep you comfortable. a moment that makes you remember why it is that you love him in the first place. It's very it's bringing him back to his roots and making sure that you are aware that you are his family, and he wants to take care of you and eat the bugs out of your hair.
Gabriel will take out some of the spilled popcorn that he kind of shoveled in his pockets when I was emptying the bucket and just let Cadaver eat them. He knows that the popcorn is Cadaver's favorite part of going to the movies, so he'll just feed that to him for about an hour until Gabriel starts feeling better.
And Cadaver will also do something. He'll swing to a bookshelf where there are like old movies that you were able to kind of collect as a young boy. And he'll pick out the older Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Almost like you guys have a weird connection. And he drags the DVD over to you and climbs back onto your shoulder. And eats more popcorn out of your hand.
And he'll just sit down still on the floor in the corner and just watch the movie with him.
And we're going to move on from that to Alex.
Hello.
Hello. Why don't you go ahead and give me your rouse check for the evening?
I would love to. I succeed. I do not get hungrier as I wake up.
All right, wonderful. The guys are on fire. The girls, they try. You feel right as rain waking up. It's a wonderful night. Things are going well for you. And you genuinely feel good. You're not hungry. Grandma is in the living room. She's knitting. And as you kind of wake up, you hear her humming a song that she used to sing to you to get you to sleep when you were younger.
Alexander will sit up, still clutching one of the picture frames that he had put face down a few weeks ago to his chest, and will set it beside his bed. And then he is going to go and just check on his grandma and just see how she's doing.
Grandma Lena looks over to you and offers you with a warm smile. Morning, kid. Well, evening. You've been in bed all day. Are you okay, sweetheart?
Yeah, just on a night shift. Got a weird sleep schedule, but it's been working out for me, breaking in decent pay. How are you doing, Grandma?
Oh, I'm good. Listen, it was really nice of your friends to come and visit the other week. So I, over the last couple days, I've been I decided to make them a little something special. I'm glad that you're able to get yourself some new friends. Your two little girlfriends there are very, very sweet and very pretty. And your other friend there is he's a doctor. That's very nice.
Yeah, he's a bit squirrely, but he's my swirly buddy, so.
I am just happy that you were able to make some friends. I know it must be. I know how you've been feeling over over time, and listen, if need be, I can take all of the pictures down. I'm sorry, I meant to. I just haven't had a chance to, and I don't trust myself on those ladders anymore. And
No, you don't have to worry about that, Grandma. It's probably good that they stay there. I just didn't want to have to deal with the questions the other week.
I'm sorry, kid. Well, dinner's in the fridge if you're hungry. I assume that you are. You haven't been up all day.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of famished. I think I'll go and enjoy some of that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just letting you know. Tomorrow, Margaret and I are going. We're going out. We're gonna go do all the fun touristy stuff. We might go tour. We might go on the London Eye. We might go look at some of the museums. Just to get out of the house. For at least a couple hours.
Good. You two deserve to get the chance to go and enjoy yourselves a little bit.
Oh. Ain't nothing keeping me down. But you are a sweet young boy. You will find someone who makes you whole again. I promise. I mean, look at you. You've got your grandma's eyes, your grandma's smile. Of course you're gonna be a hit with the women. And she
Thanks, Grandma.
and she gets up from her seat and with her walker makes her way to you and just kind of places her hands on your cheeks and just kind of squeezes them like that with like that old lady grandma grip.
Yup. Somehow the strongest one in the house.
Yep. Despite her hands being so gentle, and that is the thing that sticks out is her hands are gentle. And she looks at you with all of the love that she could possibly ever give someone. And it's a nice, gentle moment between you and your grandma. And then your work phone rings.
Sorry, Grandma, I really gotta take this. You enjoy the rest of your show, and I will go and enjoy some of that dinner while I take this.
Okay. And she smiles and goes back to her her chair, and she continues doing her knitting, and you can tell she's knitting blankets, like a lot of blankets, for your friends who were so kind to come and visit her.
Oh, they better fucking love those. And he just thinks to himself as he goes to into the kitchen and will close the door before he will answer his work phone.
It's Oscar.
Mr. Asanov, how can I help you?
Kid, I've got another delivery service for you.
Understood. When should I pick it up and where? And where's it need to go?
Normal spot, 4 packages, and we were given a bit extra funds to expedite it. They need all 4 of these delivered as soon as possible, so get your ass down here.
Understood, sir. I'm on my way.
And he hangs up.
And Alexander is going to get some of the dinner that his grandmother made him, and he was just going to quickly shovel some into his face, even though he can't really taste it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And he will just be head out, grabbing the jacket that his grandmother makes him take, and just say, "I'm gonna be heading out, work emergency, but I'll be back a little bit later. You have a good rest of the evening if I don't see you before you go to bed."
All right, dear. I'm glad you're wearing a jacket. It's very cold.
Yeah, I know it's getting chillier lately. You stay warm, Grandma. Okay.
Oh, don't you worry. I plan on it. And
Just call if you need anything.
I will, son. Don't worry. And you make your way out. And you begin to make your with speed, I assume.
As much as possible, taking all the shortcuts that I know from studying to take the knowledge.
Studying to take the knowledge. Wonderful.
The London Cabbies test.
Yes. You make your way to a very nicely decorated on the outside building. It's layered with old brick, but still is able to maintain that structure. And you're used to this place. You've been here plenty of times, as you are now the delivery boy. It's a very plainly decorated inside. Bits and pieces of different packages going in and out. Various people coming in to make deals. It's a very well organized business. As you make your way to the front, Jenny, one of the normal secretaries, she calls herself, hands one package to you, and then another, and then another, and then another. Yeah, if you could just get these packages delivered as soon as possible. The lady who paid for this made it perfectly clear that they needed to be delivered within the next 2 hours.
It'll be done. And he is going to check the addresses.
Yeah. You instantly recognize these names. The names of your coterie members. They are beautifully decorated square boxes with a pale green envelope on the top. There is a green and white with gold lace trimming bow that is settled right on top, and there are direct addresses to drop these packages off, with clear instructions that there is to be no damage done to any of the packages, and that your life comes second to these boxes. It's from Grandma. No.
Shit. Alexander is going to look at that and is going to send out a group text. We need to meet. To the coterie.
At different points in time, you all receive this message from Alexander.
I don't like the sound of that.
Oh dear. I'll text back to the group just, that I'm hanging out at the shop, and if they all want to come by, we can use the room in the back.
That'll do. And
Gabriel-
Andrew will begin heading that way with the packages, being as careful as he can with them.
Gabriel will text back, he's on his way.
Ivy does literally text, I don't like the sound of that, and then start making her way to the shop.
The Skull and Sage. A makeshift haven for the four of you. A place where you can comfortably meet. A place that is, at this point, basically a second home to some of you. You find your way to the back of the building, in that same space. One at a time, you make your way in until Alexander comes in with these 4 packages, beautifully presented.
Are these like the other ones?
Well, they don't smell like death, so that's positive.
Small step up.
Yeah, they are quite beautiful. Ivy,
Yes.
you don't have that hard of a connection to your sire's clan. But even you see these, and something in you just kind of sings for a moment. The presentation itself is very pretty to look at.
Ivy kind of looks at them, and it looks like she starts talking, but nobody hears anything as she looks around the group.
Can't hear you, Peach.
What? What do you...
Oh,
Oh, that's new. Oh, that's new. Okay, hopefully that goes away soon. That's uncomfortable. Anyway, what? Who sent these? Why? Are they for us?
You assumed that they were going to tell me anything? Again, I'm
And they've
just
got
a
our names
delivery
on
boy.
I want to take a look at this thing and just give it a good, nice cursory glance over. Make sure that we're not about to open up any bombs.
It is not bomb-shaped.
It doesn't help too much, but I'll start with the letter that's on top.
Sure thing. Just give me one moment to... I am going to post... something is going to drop into your journal. Please refrain from reading it until everybody has had a chance to get their box.
Mm.
And you all begin as Alexander hands off the boxes. When you open the letter, it is a pale green cardstock, very beautifully decorated. Alexander, you're the last one to get a chance to open up your letter. Why don't you go ahead and read to us what your letter says?
Oh, fuck, it's in cursive. The lady requests the pleasure of Mr. Alexander Gladstone, company for a black tie event on Thursday evening of the 18th of January at 11 o'clock. Transportation will be provided.
And that is when you notice that there is that gift. Who would like to open theirs first?
I think that,
Ivy will open hers.
Yeah, and Gabriel is going to be kind of at the side, quietly singing the Oompa Loompa song, and he's just going to begin to tear into his like it's a Christmas present.
Okay. So, Ivy will go with you first then. As you open the box and pull the top off, you notice a very beautiful dress. It is a Valentino navy crepe couture midi dress with a V neckline, clearly chosen to showcase various works of art that might be on your body. It's paired with a pair of nude and black lace Dior slingback pumps, and there is a clearly handmade mask with blue and green feathers. Gabriel, yours is a Dior double-breasted tux over a high-necked white shirt. The cufflinks are gold with green stones that catch the light to match your eyes. The shoes are black Oxfords, not the. It's paired with a dark gold mask that looks like skeletal hands reaching over an eye mask in an attempt to blind the person wearing it, with jade color beetles settled among the filigree.
Gabriel is gonna grab that and just throw it to the nearest bin, all of it, and he looks super disappointed.
Do not think you should do that.
I get the feeling that that's not something that's allowed.
Yeah.
Gabriel throws it in the bin, and he just looks at the others and looks very disappointed and very confused, and just begins to open the letter himself.
Yours matches perfectly what the others say. It's a black tie event. Starting at 11 o'clock. And someone is providing you transportation there. There's no RSVP card. There's no number to call. It is almost as though whoever sent this to you isn't giving you a choice.
Gabriel just kind of sits back and watches the others open theirs.
Alannah.
Yes.
When you open your package, you receive a black Givenchy dress that's just long enough to brush the ground in the back when you walk, because there is a plunging back drape with pearls and a pair of simple black Louis Vuitton pumps. There is another Venetian style mask that covers the whole left side of your face and the bottom of your right side, including your mouth, with a delicate loop wrapping around your eye. And for Alexander, yours is a simple black 3-piece suit in stretch wool from Dolce & Gabbana over a crisp white shirt alongside a pair of designer Oxfords. The cufflinks are elegant and simple, gold. A black eye mask is provided with gold detailing layered atop the perfect obsidian.
Okay, Storyteller, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How easy is it for us to figure out how much these things all cost?
Google is free.
Cool. I figured. I just wanted to check.
Yeah, I think Alexander just immediately pull out his phone, look at the price, have a small cardiac arrest, and then put his phone back out.
Yeah,
Same here.
this dress costs more than my apartment that I don't pay for.
I don't like any
Oh,
of this.
Oh, the clothes are so beautiful, though.
I think that might be the point.
I don't think we have a choice but to wear them either.
I'm thinking that, yeah.
Yeah, this is very much a you do not have a choice. So, Gabriel,
Potentially.
you may not want to throw that away.
Gabriel looks like he's getting a little upset, but kind of rubs the temple of his head a little bit and looks at you guys. It's not me. That's not who I am. I'm not fancy.
Well, welcome to a game that we're all too small to actually be playing, where all of us are going to be playing people that we aren't actually, for the sake of hopefully staying alive at least one more night.
Yeah, I did. Us not being fancy will not reflect well. And there's this is one of those times where we want to reflect good, because I have an idea of it as to things.
As much as I'm in the same boat as you, Gabriel, I also think that if we don't do it, all of us and everyone we've said hello to dies. So
Yep.
The kind
Gabriel
of
kind
people,
of
kind of people that have tens of thousands of dollars to drop on people they don't know are not safe to deal with. And if you have to, you must be very respectful.
as soon as you guys talk about people dying, yourselves and people that we care about, Gabriel just kind of goes very serious and walks over to the bin and kind of drags the whole bin over back to his chair and just picks up the mask and holds it. And without saying anything, he'll just nod to you guys.
Oh, go ahead.
Gabriel, did you bring Cadaver with you?
Of course.
Okay. Cadaver sneaks out of your pocket and jumps onto your shoulder. And he grabs onto he reaches down to grab onto the mask and kind of hangs it dangling in his hands and whips it over to you and kind of smacks you in the head with it, but keeps it on your eyes and gives you a small like screech of approval.
Gabriel kind of chuckles at that, and he's just going to poke him in like the nose mouth area and just says, "You're being mean," but with a smile.
And then you get another like screechy laugh.
Well, I guess we all should also clear our social plates for this night.
Yeah, apparently. Given that we may be walking into mortal danger, it seems like it's good of a time to bring this up as any. Would you all be opposed to me doing something that would allow us to know where each other are for about a week.
I think that would probably be one of the safest things we could do.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
All right, everybody get into a circle, hold each other's hands.
Are we going to sing Kumbaya?
I was gonna say
No.
hallelujah.
No, this is... I mean, I guess if you can if you want. And I'm going to use Buddy System.
Okay. Why don't you tell those who are watching what buddy system is?
So Buddy System, the fun little thin blood alchemy formula that Ivy picked up. So essentially what's going to happen is Ivy's going to pull out a needle and some thread and kind of wrap the needle around the thread and then put the needle in her mouth. And what's going to happen is Ivy's going to kind of close her eyes, hum some things, but mostly focus on herself. And if all things go according to plan, for the next week, we will all be able to sense each other's duration, or location. I can read. So we'll first do my rouse check.
Okay.
All right, that's good. I'm gonna do another rouse check to add a die to this. That's unfortunate. All right. And since this is a level 2 rich formula, I need 3 successes.
Yes.
Well, I would like to succeed at this, so God said no, I failed.
Ooh.
Okay. You go to begin the ritual or the alchemy. You don't know what it is that's going wrong. You've had a couple of chances to practice this formula at this point. Maybe it was that woman that you stabbed. Her blood is probably just not good enough. But unfortunately, after working on it for a little bit, the formula duds. And you are left with being slightly hungrier and failing to bring your coterie closer together.
I don't feel any different.
Neither do I.
Yeah, Ivy just spits out the needle. God damn it, of course it didn't work. Why would it? One time I fucking need it. I want to go home. Stop holding me hostage.
No. Anyway. Before you get picked up, is there anything that the four of you would like to discuss?
Should we bring gifts?
I don't think we can afford anything that would be considered a gift.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah,
I'm
anything
thinking
I
we
could-
should also make sure that if we try to stay within sight of each other, because I'm getting the feeling that this is not a party any of us want to get lost in.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
anything I could bring, I don't think it'd be terribly useful. Or well received.
Yeah,
My mom used to say that it's the thought that counts.
it's not like we can just bake a plate of cookies and take them with us, and none of them will probably eat it.
Also, no offense, but your mom was a regular person that dealt with regular people.
Exactly.
A lot
Hero
of
just kinda
someone
looks
tells me that
down.
the people. Someone tells me that the people of this party aren't people anymore.
But yeah, keep in contact. Keep an eyesight. Don't let any strange hot people drag you into rooms alone.
Don't let any strange people drag you into rooms alone.
That too.
Aren't you supposed to be the smart one, Alannah?
Yes?
Okay, well, sometimes you can be a bit less specific when you're giving warnings.
Let's see.
Yes.
As they're having this conversation, Gabriel's just going to get up and make his way out into the streets of London, and he's going to go buy a gift.
Okay. What is it that you are going to bring?
Good question. Not something super expensive. You know what? He's going to go out to like a glass store, what sells like glass ornaments, glass, all sorts of things made out of glass, and he's going to buy a kind of palm-sized glass swan.
All right.
So go out and acquire a gift.
Okay, and what is Ivy going to bring?
Are there any jewelry shops?
Yes.
Alright.
There is so it's not a full-on jewelry shop. It's like a pawn shop that sells jewelry, and the jewelry's very nice. It's it's a pawn store. People have once owned these really nice pieces that they need to get rid of for one reason or another. And the pawn shop sells them at a comparative price.
Well, Ivy's broke, so
Okay.
Ivy would try to find like an emerald or like a malachite, similar green gem,
Mm-hmm.
like a necklace, like
Yeah.
a not unnoticeable necklace.
Most definitely. I'm going to be kind and loving to all of you. I'll say that you find a reasonably priced malachite necklace. There is an emerald necklace next to it, but when you see the price tag, you remember that I'm dead inside feeling that she sometimes get if things get too expensive?
Yeah.
Yeah, that feeling you get.
Cool. Yeah, here's the problem. Resources 0 ass over here. Doesn't have much to sell.
Okay.
You know.
So are you saying that you want to make a check?
A discount.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll me a dex.
And realistically, at that point, we're going for the F.
Okay. Roll me a dex and larceny. You can add your dot and obfuscate.
Okay. I would also like to rouse for
Okay.
fleetness.
Sure, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
It's not a good sign.
Man, you're just gonna go to this party swinging, ain't you?
Hey,
Oh,
I don't have
there
the
it
frenzy.
is.
I assume my spec and lockpicking will not apply.
No.
Okay. So that's, you said dex, larceny. I can add my dot and obfuscate.
Yep.
And since it's dexterity and non-combat, I can add my celerity from fleetness. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Keep saying that.
You did so good. Look at all
Hold
the
on.
successes that you
Um,
got.
I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll that 10.
Sure thing. Spend your
Alright.
willpower. All right.
So it's
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
should be 7
1,
because it being a crit, so it should subtract 2.
7. Right. Yep. Sorry, I don't know how to count. This is why I'm a storyteller, not a mathematician. Yeah, easily. You go in there. The guy who's working behind the counter looks bored because it's nighttime and there's no customers. He kind of eyes you up and down for just a brief moment, but then goes back to reading a magazine, which you probably haven't seen like a new addition to this magazine since like mid 2010. Like, it's old, but it's distracting him, and you with your speed and your silent movements are able to quickly obtain the very nicely priced emerald necklace and kind of pocket it and just look around probably for one more minute and make your way out. Unless there's anything else that you would like to do.
Nope, that's all.
Cool. Anybody else looking to buy gifts?
Nope. I have no resources, and I don't have the ability to steal things.
Okay.
Alexander does have a dot of resources.
Okay.
So he's going to also probably go to a pawn shop and just get some like earrings, something that's within his price range.
Sure. You're able to find a pair of they're nothing super fancy. And if anything, they look like they might be made out of like cubic zirconia. But a present is a present, and you purchase them, and it doesn't eat up your resource dot.
That is what I'm going for, because he's just like, I gotta show up with something because everyone else is working to do so.
Theoretically, I could offer my skills as a tattoo artist as a gift.
Yeah, that does work too.
Yeah.
But eventually you all make
something.
eventually you do you all make your way back to the tattoo shop, where you are greeted by a very sleek black SUV.
I assume that's all right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
A gentleman gets out.
Who wants to be first in?
Ladies first.
How chivalrous. And I will get in.
Ivy looks at him, coward, and she'll get in.
Hey, fuck you. And then he will step inside.
Then Gabriel will step in.
Okay. And with that, you make your way. The car you are in pulls into an underground parking structure after a number of confusing turns through the Canary Wharf. Looking out of the car window, you see more nondescript black door set into a concrete wall. There are two large men in tailored black suits standing there, patiently waiting, presumably for your arrival. When your car pulls up before them, one of the men moves to open the door. Ivy and Alannah are both offered hands to help them get out, while Alexander and Gabriel are given space to climb out on their own.
We'll take the hand that's proffered.
Yep.
Alexander will climb out and Storyteller real quick.
Mm-hmm.
With my knowledge of the city, could I maybe get a general idea of where we are in terms of geographic location?
I will say, give me a wits and streetwise check.
Okay. 2 successes.
You're not entirely sure where exactly you are, but you do know that you are somewhere in the Canary Wharf, which rests in one of the more upscale financial districts of London.
Okay.
They lead you to the door, where there is another individual who reaches out and just asks for invitations, please.
I will hand over my invitation.
So will Gabriel.
As well, Alexander.
Your invitations are checked at the door before you are given a brief nod. You are expected. Go on through. Through the door, you find yourself moving down a short but well-lit hall into a small reception area. The floor is polished with marble. The lower part of the wall wood panel with the top in a pale green damask wallpaper. Antique-looking oil paintings hang on either wall with a small gold candle that scones light in the space. A large state-of-the-art body scanner stands there, manned by a nondescript 4-person security team. You are instructed to empty your pockets and hand over any electronics or weapons before you are allowed to go through the scanner.
Gabriel will hand over a pouch filled with scalpels and another pouch filled with needles filled with some sort of chemical. And that's it.
Alannah will hand over her phone and a key ring with several keys on it.
Alexander's going to hand over his phones, turned off, locked, and will also hand over a set of brass knuckles.
Ivy will pull out 1, 2, and then she'll reach down towards her ankle, pull out a 3rd, and then a 4th knife. You're like, all right, here you go. I think that's all of them.
Is anybody trying to sneak anything in?
No.
Or are you surrendering
No.
all of your... Okay.
I'm surrendering everything I have.
Yeah.
Perfect. As you hand over all of your weapons and electronics, they are collected and locked into a locker built into the wood paneling on one of the walls before you were provided with a small key with the tag attached to it. It'll allow you to retrieve them later. And you are informed that you are to keep your masks on until you are explicitly told that you may remove them. The elevator beyond the security checkpoint is similarly well appointed to the hall and lobby, designed to blend almost seamlessly with the hall it connects to. Once you make way, it begins moving without any input from you. And as you take a moment to get your bearings, you realize that there's no panel of buttons visible to you. If anybody wishes, they may make a wits and awareness check.
Sure.
Certainly.
Sure.
I got
Thank
1
God.
success.
Oh, thank God.
2.
3.
2.
Wonderful. Ivy. And did anybody else roll above 2 successes?
Nope.
Okay. Ivy. As you're looking around this elevator, you notice a small camera hidden in the frame of a painting that's on one of the walls. So as you're stepping in, that's how you assume that this elevator is able to move without any input from any of you. Somebody must be controlling it from the inside. After a long...
Ivy's just going to pretend that she does not notice it.
Okay.
Also, one of my hunger dice was a 1. Do I get a bestial failure here?
No, because you didn't get a total failure with the bestial failure. You still got a success, so you're good. It was just a failure.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yep.
Wanted to make sure.
After a long elevator ride to what must be at least the 14th floor, you step out onto another finely appointed space, which seems taken from another time. Polished marble floors are offset by a dark green marble pillars, white wallpaper with barely visible cream and gold floral patterns throughout, and an elegant gold chandelier hanging above. This round room has closed doors leading off in various directions, but also open access to the spaces beyond it. You can see people are collected here, all of them dressed just as finely, if not more so than yourselves. Most are in clothing that looks designer, if not custom made, and there is an elegance in class. Any of them could fit right now on like a red carpet, though few of them have been lowbrow enough to dress to make a statement like one might expect in a Hollywood setting. All of them are wearing ornate masquerade masks, most of which covered the entire face. The lining on the walls open to a room where there are small pockets of people murmuring quietly among themselves. There are what seem to be booths sequestered from the rest of the room by heavy curtains. I'm gonna have you guys make another set of wits and awareness checks.
Uh-oh.
Messy critical 5.
Okay.
2 successes.
1.
All right. Gabriel, roll me a compulsion.
Hunger.
You go up in hunger. That beast getting very excited at the thought of, oh, this is just like a buffet. We should go eat. Take it. Obviously, whoever wants us here is providing for us. We should take it. We should take it because it belongs to us.
Would be nice. Would be nice. Not yet. Not yet.
As you are making your way through these halls, Gabriel, you actually managed to see a man climbing from one of the enclosed booths. He's clearly inebriated because he stumbles and his mask slips, revealing the face of Jonathan Chase, the lead singer of that band that's currently topping the Billboard charts and kind of taking social media by storm with a viral hit. He looks somewhat bashfully around him as he quickly moves to replace his mask, but there is a visible shift in behavior, and and the attitudes of the employees moving around, who all seem to immediately become somewhat standoffish with him, as he almost as if he's committed some sort of like faux pas.
I think Gabriel will tap on Ivy's shoulder and just going to point at him.
Ivy will look over.
I think isn't that guy famous? Right?
I wouldn't be surprised if most people here are. That being said, I'm more worried about how he's being treated after losing his mouse. Be careful you don't take yourself or have it fall off.
Gabriel kind of just tightens his a little bit.
Wonderful. A woman with brown hair pinned up in an elegant loose twist and brown eyes that glitter through a black and red mask approaches. She wears a red dress that's draped along her curves in a manner that suggests it was created specifically for her, rather than being taken off the rack and altered. She gives you an appraising look, as if she was wondering if even your designer clothes are good enough, before speaking. Good evening. Her voice is thick with a Spanish accent. You are here to see the lady. Yes?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
Nods.
We brought gifts.
Good. She is expecting you. Follow me, please. And then I'm gonna have you all roll another wits and awareness check.
Another one.
Another one.
I can't take this anymore.
I got 3.
Gabriel's just going to be collecting compulsion.
That's
Oh,
another
oh
one,
my
baby!
Another
knew
one.
Get rid of
And
it.
another one. That's a bestial fail and 2 messies.
I got 1 success.
I got 2 successes again.
Oh dear. Okay.
I
I'm
got
so
3.
happy. Cool. Awesome. Great. I love this. Okay. Gabriel.
Yeah.
Roll.
Paranoid.
There it goes. Cool. Actually, this works pretty perfectly. So
I'm freaking out, man.
Gabriel, Ivy, and Alexander. As you are making your way down the hall, you pass a slightly ajar door to a side room, where you get a glimpse of a man in a 3-piece suit and a gimp mask on his hands and knees, pressing his lips to the heeled boot of a woman sitting in a high back chair and looking just bored, just before the door is shut by a young woman in a simple all-black slacks and a button-up outfit. The woman is carrying a tray with an empty champagne glass and a silver butt plug. This scares Gabriel on another level that he would not expect, because you reached the paranoia compulsion again.
Ivy just shrugs. Alright.
Not generally my scene, but go off, I guess.
Yes.
Pretty sure that butt plug is a steak.
It's made of metal.
Yeah.
Gabriel is starting to shake in the legs a little bit now.
Eyes forward. We're in a rather high-end party. I doubt that's going to be the strangest thing we see here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You are led through a place that, if it weren't for the floor-to-ceiling windows partially obscured by long, heavy green velvet curtains and the distinctly modern clothes of those within, it seems like it's plucked out of another era of history entirely. A pair of double doors are opened by the woman leading you when she reaches them and stands aside to let you in. They're here, ma'am. And she gestures for the four of you to enter. Inside is a long, formal dining table, or what could is long, formal dining table, or what could be a dining table. A number of crystal decanters are set in the middle of the table on a slightly raised tray and are surrounded by matching wine glasses. Inside is a dark red liquid, the nature of which is perfectly clear. The walls here, too, are decorated in antique-looking paintings, but a close enough look reveals that they are beyond what one might expect. A woman tied in intricate rope bindings and knots on her knees and at the feet of a man whose hand is in her hair, and somewhere between a grip and a caress adorns one wall. A large stone relief of a woman leaning against the lower leg of another woman, her cheek nestled into a bare thigh, while delicately carved chain leads from the standing woman's hand to the collar on the one at her feet, dominates the wall at the far end of the room. And approaching from the far end of the table is an elegant, poised-looking woman in a black pencil skirt. Pearl earrings dangle from her eyes, and emerald glitters where it hangs on a necklace. Her top is a deep emerald green with a daring V-neck tucked into an underbust corset. Sleek black pumps with iconic red soles and stockings. You expect to have seams running up the backs of her legs for a finished look. She gives you a polite but welcoming smile.
Good evening. Welcome. I'm glad to see you accepted the invitations.
Yes, thank you for the invitations.
You're very welcome, Miss
And the
Roth.
clothing, they're delightful.
Well, if I'm going to invite you to a party of this nature, I should make sure that you are presentable, yes? I'm sorry, where are my manners? You may call me the lady.
Pleasure to meet you.
Which means that you are Miss Reed, and she'll point at Ivy. Mr. Gladstone, those, shoulders would be obvious anywhere. Dr. Monroe, you polish up quite well. And Miss Roth, gorgeous as ever.
Thank you.
Oh, I do apologize if I said before. We brought gifts.
She looks visibly pleased. Her smile spreads even wider. How
Oh.
lovely. I am happy to accept your gifts as host.
I brought you this swan. It's a symbol of royalty, and he'll begin to walk towards her. But with his paranoia, he'll hear a noise in the background, kind of quickly look back, and as he does, he'll fall down to his knees, trip over, and the glass one will just shatter on the ground in front of her. And he's going to immediately look very twitchy and begin to, with his bare hands, just begin to clean it up. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
She's going to step up so that she is standing kind of right next to his shoulder, and his head is right against the outside of her thigh, and it's just going to like stroke his hair in a very like calm, rhythmic manner. It's all right. Accidents happen. Stand up. I'll have the help take care of that.
He'll stand up and look very kind of shy.
It is the thought that counts, after all, isn't it?
He'll smile at that.
Good boy.
Yes. Thank you.
I assume the necklace came and, well, came is a strong word. Had like a jewelry box that it was in, right?
Yes. The way that it was displayed at the pawn shop, it was in the box, and the box was just open to display it.
Ivy is kind of going to pull out the box, kind of look to Alannah, and kind of like hold it between them, and kind of gesture for Alannah to start walking forward.
Sure, yeah. Alannah will fall into step.
This is from the two of us.
Thank you. And she'll take it and open it, and seeing the emerald on the inside will kind of smile, and like one of her long red nails will kind of tap the emerald around her neck absently. Guessed my taste without ever having met me. How insightful. You are most welcome, and I thank you for your gifts.
And I offer up my skills as an artist. I usually tattoo, but I work in other mediums as well.
I will keep that in mind. Something to be made from one's own hands is a rare treat, and not lightly given, I suspect. She'll take the box and lean in, and they will both get a very, like, chaste, kind of like cheek kiss. That very polite, high society, mwah, mwah, and then she's done.
Mm-hmm.
And then she will look over at Alexander.
Who will pull out a small box that has the earrings that he purchased, and he will move and offer it with both hands as a sign of respect. Ma'am.
She will take it, open it up, smile, and give an approving nod. Your gifts are very well received. Thank you, all of you. Please, sit down. Be welcome. My home is your home.
Gabriel will go sit.
Yeah.
Alexander will move to pull out the chairs for Alannah and Ivy first before he would take his seat.
She will kind of turn, and you see her take a silver case off of the end of the table and pull out what looks to be a hand-rolled cigarette, settle it into a cigarette holder that you realize is actually a ring that she can just wear on her middle finger. Lights it with a flick, and then kind of makes a walk around the room as she takes a absent-minded drag. I'm sure you are all wondering why you were invited so unexpectedly without having met me. I am given to understand that you have recently become acquaintances with someone who is very dear to me, and I make it a point to get to know anyone involved in her life if I can, to look after her. Not to mention, it is only polite to say hello to one's neighbors.
It is very true, and I view Ariana as a good friend.
She seems to enjoy your presence, values you quite highly.
Why did you?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, Well, I was unaware that we were speaking about Ariana as well. I don't remember her ever mentioning you.
It can be embarrassing for some of the younger ones to admit that they are closely tied to someone in high places. Something about being in another one's shadow.
She's been good to us, and I thank her for it.
I'm glad. If she plays host so often, I'd hope that my teachings had sunken in and she knew how to play the good hostess.
Yeah, she's good at it.
A model of courtesy.
He will nod, and kind of give a nod to the woman in the red dress who is still hanging out at the door, who will kind of nod her head in acknowledgement, step into the room, and then shut the doors. Before the lady will turn back to you. If you would like, you may remove your masks now. I apologize for the pomp and circumstance around them, but our clientele are exclusive, and they value their privacy. And it would be rude of me to invite you here and not extend you the same protections.
Well, Alannah will look around, see what everyone else is doing, but she will pull off the mask.
Yeah, I view
So will
it very,
Gabriel.
very
The mask will kind of
carefully.
expose like half of her face already, so
Very carefully pull off the mask.
Yep.
Excellent. She'll kind of walk back around, and as she is passing Gabriel, she'll kind of reach out and give Cadaver just a little scritch under the chin with her nail.
And again, everybody notices there is no fear with this woman. Cadaver is loving the scratch and is leaning into it and goes to climb up to perch Gabriel's head, almost like inviting more.
She gives a charmed little laugh. Spends just a few extra seconds doting on the monkey before making her way to the head of the table and sitting down, crossing one leg over the other. Tell me about yourselves. Ariana told me some, but I'd like to hear more from your mouths. What are your lives like?
well, I guess I'll start. I mean, my life is pretty recently changed, but for the most part, I do a lot of occult research and spend the rest of my free time either, hanging out with this group of people or tattooing. Do the research for my sire.
A nod. Kind of look to the rest of them. I'm sorry, I understand you must be, nervous. You're not in any kind of trouble, and I mean you no harm. If I wanted you... well... if I wanted you to suffer the true death, that would have happened some time ago.
I'm afraid there's not much to say about myself. I am just a doctor who has been allowed to continue his work with the Carter's blessing, and you've already met my good friend, and he'll kind of bring out again Cadaver and kind of hold him up on the table. I'm still trying to, I suppose, find myself.
Kind of smile a little bit. Just a doctor? Nonsense. You are a man of learning. That is no small accomplishment. You should be proud of it. And if the
Kind of
Hakapas are telling you anything else, then they're dramatically underselling you on your value.
Again, kind of smiles at that a little bit. This time tries to hide it, but kind of fails.
Well, there is no better way to take advantage of someone than to undervalue.
Thank you. Lady, is that all right for me to call
That is
you?
perfectly fine.
Thank you.
I kind of do quite a lot.
You are a busy girl, from what I've seen. Multi-talented, though. Yes?
In a manner of speaking, I suppose, though. They tend to lend to each other rather consistently, and all my talents
type of-
kind of feed together.
Having a type of cohesion amongst your talents does not make you any less multi-talented. You are very useful, but you could be very useful beyond what you've aspired to. You should let me know if you're ever looking for better work, more work.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind.
I'm afraid in comparison, ma'am, I'm quite boring and singular.
Kind of arches a brow at that and sits back in this kind of high-backed chair, taking another long drag on her cigarette as she watches him. Well, yes, considering I hired you to deliver 4 packages to 4 places, and you delivered all of them to the same place. I would hope that you're not typically so bad at following directions.
I was attempting to expedite the process and make sure that we would all be together.
Well, I did have 4 cars lined up. It did create quite a bit of confusion when I had 3 cars show up in places where there was no one to pick up, but I suppose your performance was tolerable. And I won't even tell your boss. Kinda gives an amused little smile at that.
Thank you, ma'am. And he is trying for his hardest not to grip his fists.
Now tell me, are any of you hungry?
Starved.
Yes.
Just a little.
Help yourself from the decanter on the left. Don't touch what's on the right. And Gabriel, I understand your proclivities lean in a slightly more solid direction, yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, nothing to be sorry for. We all have our quirks. Never apologize for what the blood has given you. And she'll kind of snap a finger, and a panel on the right wall turns out to not be a panel but a door. And it swings open, and another young woman in kind of nondescript black clothes with very nondescript features, looking incredibly placid considering that she is carrying a covered silver tray in, comes in and she sets it in front of Gabriel and then removes the top of the tray, and there is a still warm heart on the inside on the tray. Before you go worrying, no one was killed for this. It was a failed transplant. I have connections.
This is very kind. Thank you.
Of course.
A moment later, the lady hears a gorgeous antique phone go off.
One moment, please. My apologies. And she'll stand up and she'll kind of walk to back beyond the head of the table to where this little like alcove is built with this large kind of immaculate writing desk with the phone on it. And she will pick it up. Yes? Oh. Hello, darling. Yes? Sure, something could be worked out if you needed access to the chantry. Yes, whenever you like. Of course. I may even have someone interesting for you to meet when you get here. Of course, yes, I know you're very busy. Have a lovely evening. Good night. And she'll hang up and make her way back to the table. I apologize. Business never ceases. Always someone needing something.
Of course, that is how it is, of course.
That seems to be the way of things.
Always.
And Alannah's trying herself really hard to not ask about what she heard, the chantry.
So tell me, now that you're here, I'm sure you all have questions. Feel free to ask them at your leisure. I don't believe in keeping back information.
With respect, ma'am, why us?
I've already told you. You are in the company of someone dear to me, and I make it a point to know who she knows. Ensure she's safe.
And that's all there is to it.
I've always been a little curious about... What do you call yourselves, Duskborn? Yes? I've met very few of you, but you are important, so I admit there was some small amount of curiosity behind the invitation as well.
Yeah.
Just real quick, to make sure that I am remembering things correctly. We were told to help ourselves to the decanter on the left, yes?
I believe so. We'll
Yes.
go with that, because now
Okay.
looking back, I don't remember.
There was the decanter on the left. Don't touch what's on the right.
Yeah,
Yep,
do not
yep,
touch
yep.
the one
Yes.
on the right.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Ivy is going to fill up one of the glasses and kind of go through the typical like wine tasting, steps, even though it's very much not wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious. I'm curious about the kind of nature of this blood. What's it smell like? Would you like a resolve awareness from me?
Yes. Give me a resolve and awareness check.
2 successes.
Okay. The blood is sweet. It has hints of warmth. Pulling from the inside to kind of make it a more robust aroma. You can tell that it is sanguine blood. Not only is it sanguine blood, it is potent. Very potent.
But it does smell like mortal blood.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
It kind of puts it into perspective now that you might thinking on it for like a minute. Sanguine blood in a place like this kind of makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We'll kind of casually sip from the
Yeah,
glass.
the lady said eat the rich.
Fair.
In all ways.
Yep.
Alexander will pour himself a little bit as well and sip at it very lightly.
Yeah, Alannah will pour some and slowly sip at it. She's not incredibly hungry, but good manners and all.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing that you all would notice drinking from the decanter is that it's obvious that slightly raised tray that it is sitting on is a warmer. Like, it's meant to keep the blood warm as long as possible.
Interesting.
Ivy, what's your hunger at?
It is at 3.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
I mean, I also don't have
Yeah,
bestial
fair.
fury, so
That is fair. That's fair. Never mind. All right. Yeah, but this blood tastes unreal. It is smooth going down for those who are drinking it. The heart tastes good too, Gabriel. It's good quality. Locally farmed.
Grass fed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabriel just got the silverware, and he's just like cutting into this and eating it like you would a steak.
Yeah. This is the fanciest way you've ever partaked in feeding before. And your this, whatever she is feeding you, this heart, is so almost warm to the point where it could still be beating. I'm going to allow you to slake 2 hunger from that.
I'm only at 2 hunger, so I can only go down to 1, right?
So you go down to 1, yes. And
Yeah.
you get rid of your hunger compulsion.
Could I make some sort of medicine check just to make sure what she said was true? Like,
Yeah.
this hasn't just been ripped out of someone like in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, give me a an intelligence and medicine check. We'll set the difficulty at difficulty 3.
Okay.
to double check, sanguine is blood, sorcery, and presence, correct?
Correct.
Cool.
That's free.
Miss Lady,
Yes.
is she being honest?
As far as he could tell. This thing was removed by an expert surgeon. It does not look like it was damaged when it was removed. You know, I would guess that a doctor, especially someone who works with the dead, knows that sometimes transplants just don't work out. They get rejected for one reason or another.
Okay. In that case, Gabriel's going to kind of look over at the lady and just say, this is incredible. Thank you again, lady.
Of course. Happy to be of service to my guests.
Could I perhaps ask a more intimate question?
As I said, I don't believe in holding information back. Ask whatever you wish.
On what side of the fence do you fall on?
I'm an Archbishop of the Sabbat, dear.
I see. Thank you for being truthful.
Of course. I have nothing
looks
to
at
be
the group.
ashamed of.
To see like their reactions.
So, Storyteller.
Yes.
With the sanguine blood, and you know, just in case, Ivy would like to roll for free fire, just so it's ready in case it needs to go off.
Sure thing. Make your
It's the rouse check. All right, we're right back up to 3. Let's go.
okay.
All right, this is only a level 1, so I get it.
All right, wonderful. It begins to, for lack of a better term, bubble within you. And you can feel a slight discomforting heat coming from it. You, while holding this in, are uncomfortable. This isn't meant to, this type of alchemy isn't meant to just be held onto. Especially it staying inside of your body.
Yeah.
So, uncomfortable.
Uncomfy.
Alexander is sort of just watching the lady and says, "Pardon the surprise, ma'am, but we've heard a few things from 2 different parties about the Sabbat. None of them have been flattering, if I'm being honest. And I am
Yes.
just surprised of that we are sitting here in opulence and discussing things."
Yes, well, the other sides tend to be more plentiful, and they do benefit from misinformation, don't they?
I suppose any side could, depending on what they do.
If you want to know about the Sabbat, I can tell you.
I would very much like to, because I've heard one side, I would like to hear the other. I don't think there's any point in only taking one side's story at face value in anything.
That is a admirable quality, Mr. Gladstone.
Thank you.
It is true that the Sabbat has been known for some behaviors especially at the lower rungs of power, that would turn up the noses of others. But we only resort to such extremes during wartime. Only when we have to. when we're preparing to siege a city to deal with a particularly dangerous Methuselah, for example. But when you get past the troublesome trappings that most people see and assume is all of it, you realize a few things. We are people of great faith. We are creatures of respect for the power among us. We value personal freedom above all else. We are what we are, and no one should ever make us pretend to be something we're not. If a member of the Sabbat wishes to climb the ranks, they have but to challenge the person above them. We have manners of resolving such things. Fairly. Openly. Anyone can lodge a challenge. I'm sorry, did you ask something?
Violently?
Yes. But if you lodge a challenge, you go in knowing what you're walking into. We participate in ritualized combat. So you don't pose a challenge if you don't wish to partake. We throw off the trappings that make slaves of younger and less experienced vampires. Canaanites. We have ways of ensuring that no one can ever blood bond another or be blood bonded. We ensure the utmost loyalty among those you traffic with. We promote the betterment of oneself, both in physical strength, and she'll kind of nod towards Alexander, and mental, and she'll nod towards Alannah. The pursuit of power and knowledge is never something to be held back. And above all, we wish to deal with those who are the most dangerous to those who are younger. It's where our roots come from, after all. In the Dark Ages, and even afterwards, elders, Methuselah, had a tendency to blood bond everyone they could to turn them into slaves who couldn't fight back or shake off the burden of oppression. We had a problem with that, so we found ways around it.
Can I make any kind of just insight roll to see, kind of like read between the lines, kind of thing?
Yeah, wits and insight.
Okay.
I would like to do the same because I'm curious how much she believes what she's saying, at the very
Same.
least.
Yeah, there's a bit of
What?
I'm gonna spend a willpower because
Okay.
I'm actually going to rouse to increase my
that's
wits for this.
2 for me as well.
No, it's not.
No, you got 4. You
And
rolled
a messy
you rolled-
critical.
And
And
it's
a
my-
messy critical.
Oh, I got a messy critical. Oh yes, I did.
Roll me a compulsion, pretty
Actually-
please.
Yep. Ah yes, I'm in the Thames.
I'm going to spend a willpower.
Oh,
We're fucked.
Oh no.
Oh, that's like the worst one you could have gotten.
Oh,
It's very not good.
Well,
fuck me.
Well, it's a good thing I have a plan in case shit goes sideways.
Okay, that's 2 successes, and I will go ahead and roll the rouse check for surging for wits.
Okay.
I get hungrier. Good thing I poured myself some.
We're getting hungry and messy and hungry.
Mhm.
Glad I
Welcome
poured
to
myself some.
Vampire.
Welcome to the Chuckle Fucks.
Everything is going according to Millhouse. Everything. Yep. Okay. So, for those of us who got more than 3 successes,
Damn it.
So, Alannah.
Alannah,
Yeah.
my dear, another question for the lady.
Is she being honest?
Is she being honest? How
Completely.
there is nothing to really read into, and for some reason, Alannah, that doesn't sit right with you. You have been told time and time again that the Sabbat are just these bloodthirsty monsters. And you have been told this so often that you seem as if you are almost gaslighting yourself. Because this woman is coming here, inviting you, treating you with the utmost hospitality, telling you how she sees it's fit, and it bugs you. It bugs you because you don't have the answer that you are looking for. You are looking for a reason to be mad at the Sabbat, and she is calm and cool and collected, and the innermost part of your beast is angry at that and demands an explanation as to then, if you are saying all of these things, why are everybody against you? Why is it that every time you talk to somebody, they say all of these nasty things, especially your sire,
Mhm.
and that hits you for a second? It seems to be that all of the Camarilla line people you have ever interacted with are the ones that are saying all of these things about the Sabbat, and you get buried in the need to know. And you want answers, and you want them now.
Yeah, and I think everyone at the table can probably tell that there's a shift in her demeanor.
Everybody else, yeah, she seems like she's telling the truth. Maybe. It's kind of hard to tell. The 3 of you are a little distracted.
A little bit.
For one reason or another.
Yeah, Ivy just kind of like idly cracks each of her
Mhm.
fingers as she kind of like rolls her wrists.
To focus in on 2 very important points to the newer generation. I know that you said that you were curious about the Duskborn. Do you know if the Sabbat have a sort of standard view on us? Because it seems we've also been told that there's a fairly standard view from the tower's side.
Well, yes. The ivory tower, and she'll kind of... The first time she does something even remotely rude seeming is at that moment she kind of half rolls her eyes. It's full of a bunch of creatures who think they're still people and think they know something, and they don't. they're convinced that you all are the cause of the end times, and not just a sign of it. We have no problem with your people. Your existence is a sign of the end time, but that's not your fault. You're just a precursor, nothing to be afraid of or ashamed of. If anything, we tend to welcome you amongst our ranks, and will allow you to continue as you are, or we can enable you to become something greater. Of course, I promote becoming something greater, but that is because Cain teaches us to always look to excel, become the better part of what we're meant to be.
Something greater?
Oh, yes. Has no one told you?
Who's Cain?
Oh,
The vampire.
the first.
Yeah.
Father of all?
Yeah.
Gabriel
yeah.
just looks confused.
Brother of Abel.
Well, if you want a proper lesson, Dr. Monroe, please do let me know. You are always welcome at Mass.
Just nods at that.
And I think it's, you see Alannah just getting more and more worked up. Everything that her sire had kind of been instilling in her for these last 6 months, it is kind of, there is part of her brain that is slowly losing this battle over the beast of not to cause a scene.
Lady, I have a question. Forgive me if this is rather rude. I'm a bit of a connoisseur, I suppose would be the right word, of certain substances. I'm curious, one, about the cigarettes you have, and two, if you happen to have any that you'd be willing to allow me to experience, I suppose.
She kind of looks at the cigarette on her hand like it's almost a habit to have it there. She kind of blinks a minute. Oh, are you asking if these are special?
I have a bit of a habit. It's rather difficult to break.
You are, of course, welcome to one, but there's nothing unusual about them. I just... Given the recent troubles with the Second Inquisition, it helps to look like you're breathing. And this is a good reminder for me. I'm very old. My body doesn't move that way naturally anymore.
Of course, I understand.
Sure.
Thank you.
She will hold up that silvery looking cigarette case. The woman in the red dress will kind of step from the side, take it, and carry it over to Ivy. And Ivy, when it's in your hands, you realize it's not silver, that's white gold.
Oh. She will carefully take one and hand the case back.
But yeah, they're just pretty standard hand-rolled cigarettes. It looks like somebody who's very good at what they do put them together for her, or she did it herself. But
Perfectly fine.
and
Does
you
she
are
also
obviously offered a lighter.
Cool. All right, she will light the cigarette.
And just a question.
Yes, of course.
What about the people who don't want to, people who want to stay in contact with their humanity, as people might put it, people who, it's not like any of us made this choice, and some of
Very
us
few of us did.
want to at least remain in contact with a part of our humanity. Is anybody who joins the Sabbat, do they have to leave that behind? And Alannah's voice is getting a little louder as she is speaking.
She sort of gives a little half nod. At the question. Well, we don't require it because, again, personal freedom above all else. We became what we are to escape those who try to force us into things that we're not. However, we do teach that it is the better part of our nature to let go of that part of ourselves, to accept that you are what you are, and there's nothing to be ashamed of in that. Letting go of your human side does not mean letting go of the things that you enjoy. You'd still be an artist. I have my own hobbies I partake in that I've done since I was still mortal.
And personal freedom above all else.
Yes. Means you get to make that choice for yourself, which is why my Ariana, as much as it pains me to see her not in the fold, is not being forced to be here, and was allowed to walk away when she chose to. I suspect also why she didn't go to the White Tower. They're not inclined to allow such freedoms.
So, I mean, we've all kind of heard the story of how London fell, I would think. At least the Cliff Notes.
Some of us experienced it, but yes.
Yeah, I was not here at that time. I mean, personal freedoms and all, you know. What do you do about people who cause a scene? Do they get punished, or is that still covered under personal freedom?
That tends to vary based on the situation. If we are in open warfare, scenes are to be expected. If we're not in open warfare, if there's no siege going on, I tend to hold people responsible for the risk that they present to the rest of us. Whether or not that means death can vary based on how easily it can be covered up.
So then, not personal freedom above everything.
No, they can do what they wish. Being allowed to do what you wish does not mean that there aren't consequences to doing what you wish. Everything you do has a natural consequence, a natural outcome. You're either strong enough to bear it or you're not.
I mean, how is that any different from a set of rules in place saying, you know, that the Ivory Tower has?
He sort of arches a brow. Are you implying that a group that blood bonds its people into mindless subservience, who controls when you are allowed to create a childer, and whether or not that childer survives based on the condition that they come out in, through no fault of their own, or even their sire's own in most cases. If you had been embraced into the Camarilla, and the Camarilla were an active force in the city, you likely would have died immediately after being created. There's a difference between ensuring that the sheep don't manage to overwhelm us, by providing them more information than they should have, keeping them deluded, and turning your own kind into slaves.
I mean,
Also, we also typically tend to look the other way if someone only manages to get themselves into trouble.
ah, yes. Very self-serving.
One must be wise and strong, Miss Roth. You cannot expect others to clean up your messes for you. And if you do, you should consider yourself lucky and likely in their debt.
Like owing someone a boon.
Alannah.
At times.
What? I mean, we're here to ask questions. I'm just asking questions.
I think she's made the differences very clear. Camarilla and Savant are quite separate entities.
Maybe just agree.
It's worth noting
To
that she looks.
disagree.
It's worth noting that she looks completely unruffled by Alannah's little outbursts.
She's just pushing her on even more.
She looks completely placid and calm.
And Alannah, definitely, I'm gonna give anybody a chance to like step in here and do something before I continue.
Ma'am, you said earlier before we got a bit sidetracked that we are permitted to become something stronger, greater.
Yes.
We haven't been told how. What exactly do you mean by that?
Of course not. You are what you are, but only until you choose not to be. There is risk involved, admittedly, but it is possible to not be Duskborn anymore. To become fully what your potential says you could be. And she kind of gestures at herself and at the woman in the red dress. If you would like to know how, I can explain.
And
Yes.
Alannah will just look over at Solomon and just say, "It's called
Who's
Diablerie." That's all.
At Alexander.
Okay, I was staring at the chat. I will look over at Alexander and just say Diablerie.
Yes. You feed on a full-blooded canite, and a battle of wills will ensue between their soul and yours, and if you win, you absorb their power. Effectively. Step up a rung on the ladder.
And take a step away from your humanity.
Yes, but we've established that that's not something we weep over. They are food.
May I ask a question on your personal beliefs?
Of course.
You said that there is no shame in being what we are, but one should always strive to be greater. What if one wants to remain as a Duskborn and seek out the power that is inherent there? Is there some betrayal to the teachings of Cain with that, or is
No.
that a different
No,
path?
of course not. It's a different path. Duskborn can become stronger without ever ceasing to be Duskborn. At least based on my research. I've met very few of you. I think the Camarilla's tendency to deal so finally with your kind has made it hard to find you. But there have been a few who have joined our ranks. Some chose to stay the way that they are. Some chose to become a bit more potent.
Is there... Just silverware on the table?
There was only silverware provided to Gabriel. Because
just kind of wondering what is on the table.
Most of the table is bare. It is just an open, very polished wood table. There's 2 decanters in the middle that are on like they look like raised wooden trays that match the table. And then there's Gabriel's plate and silverware. And your glasses, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Well, I still have a compulsion.
Look like Alannah's about to do something physically.
Yes. It may not be something she is fully aware of because she is clutching the wine glass very tightly.
The lady has seen this many a times throughout her life. It seems like the beast is trying to steer her in a direction that you might not find tasteful.
Flip side, part of being what you are is learning to embrace it and learning to work with it and not battle it. So I think the woman in the red dress kind of like looks like she's about to step towards Alannah, and the lady like holds up a hand, reaches over and very calmly stubs out her cigarette, and then stands and makes her way over to Alannah. Leans down and sort of speaks slowly. The others can hear, but it's probably slightly muffled. You have to learn when that part of yourself rears its head to own it. Don't fight it. Fighting it means that you get pent up the way that you are. It's like a instinct. If you embrace it, you can control it. Point it in the direction that it will serve you best, without letting go of the power it provides. Like to try?
And
You
there
will be
is
safe. No one here will harm you. They have very strict orders. And you couldn't hurt me.
Storyteller. How much can I act against, like, the compulsion?
You
'Cause
would
this
have
does
to.
not-
You don't have to really feed into the compulsion, but it's not going away until you act upon it.
You
All
just-
right, so I don't have to
and you
roll
suffer the
against it.
penalty.
No. You can contain yourself, but that bad boy is not going away until you allow yourself to act upon it. One way or another.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
is
don't
worth noting that she's not trying to get her to fight her compulsion. She's trying to get her to kind of ride it, embrace it, go with it.
But also at the same time, admitting it does feel like conceding in a way, and that feels like it's going against the compulsion.
Oh god, that's fair.
Yeah.
Just in case, Gabriel's preparing to use Far Reach, just in case things go a little too out of hand.
Sure.
Ivy's just sitting there casually smoking a cigarette, occasionally picking up a wine glass.
Love
Mhm.
that for her.
Yeah.
Watching Alannah.
Ivy is following the lady's example.
And Alexander is looking a little tense as he just looks at Alannah, like, just worried.
As the 5 of you are having this very intense moment, the door opens gently and quietly but you're all able to kind of avert your gaze from the situation at hand to look at the door. And there is a woman standing there with scars all over her face. What look like marks over her mouth and a third eye over on top of her head. And that is where we are going to end tonight. Thank you so much for everybody for watching. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And good luck containing that beast. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey.
Farewell.